So my name's Omar. I'm a Christian pastor serving in Texas. I was born in Houston, and my father is a Muslim from Iraq. My mother is a Christian from Texas. And when they got married, they had an agreement that if my father could name us, then my mother could raise us in the church. So that's why I'm the Reverend Omar Hamid al-Rikabi from Texas. And everywhere I go, whenever I go speak or preach or teach somewhere, I always have to give people that backstory because they always want to know, where did you come from? How did we get Omar Hamid al-Rikabi as a pastor? And then there's always that sort of secondary question that comes out of this misunderstanding or fear or ignorance or confusion about what is going on today between Muslims and Christians. And for whatever reason, I have this foot in both worlds. And for whatever reason, I can see where the fear and the misunderstanding comes from, at least in my experiences. And so what I've learned and what I've experienced is that people here in the church in America, they do have a lot of fear and a lot of misunderstanding about Islam or Arab countries or that culture. And in a lot of places it's understandable. I mean, we've had some pretty horrific terrorist acts over these last 15 plus years, and this war on terror and this so-called clash of civilizations. And so a lot of times I get asked, like, well, what do they believe, or why do they hate, or what should we do about them? And that's always troubling for me, because they is also my family. Not just my dad, but my aunts and my uncles and my cousins and people that I love, people that I'm close to. And so beyond just from a pastoral or a preaching or a Christian perspective, there's this whole concept of, this is family. These are people that I share life with and meals with and have grown up with in love. And so they're not just some faceless they that I fear or that need to be feared. And so I've really wrestled as we've been in war, and as churches have wrestled with how to respond to this, and the things that I've heard preached and the things that I've heard teached, is that a word? The things that I've heard preached and taught, it's been a struggle. And so I wrote this piece called My Muslim Problem, saying that it's not that I have a problem with Islam, it's that I have a problem with the way the church as a whole, in my experience, seems to deal with this issue, as it's called. And I could go on for hours and hours with stories, anecdotes of, or stories of things people have said. One time I was going to be preaching at a church in Tennessee, and I was being introduced to the pastor. And I said, I'm Omar, I'm going to be the preacher today. And he said, Omar, you're not a terrorist, are you? And, there's little stories like that, but there's also some harder stories of people who have mentored me or that I've been close to, who will say just truly horrible things, not even realizing what they're saying. When I was in seminary, when I was in seminary is when it was right after 9/11, and it was when the invasion of Iraq happened. And I had people, fellow pastors in seminary, I even had professors in seminary who would say things to me after they got to know me, like, I hated Arabs until I got to know you. I hated Muslims until I got to know your family's story. And these are the folks that are supposed to be leading, the body of Christ in how we respond to this. And so it's been an ongoing struggle for me to personally and pastorally sort of address this.